Self-care is being self-aware, not being selfish. Legal disclaimer we put at the beginning of all of our presentations. This information is for general and educational use only. Content is not intended to substitute for professional, legal, or clinical advice. We strive to keep our information as accurate and timely as possible, but make no promises and guarantees it works for your local unique situation. Course objectives, I want people to really understand what is the definition of self-care. How are you able to verbalize and identify your specific needs and putting yourself first over being a business owner? And we will be able to talk about how much you're going to benefit other aspects of your life by being more self-aware and how to become more self-aware. We'll talk a lot about the psychology between being selfish, guilt, when we put ourselves first, the self-care tips that you can do as a business owner that's going to overflow into your personal life. It's going to make you a better mom. It's going to make you a better midwife, wife, sister, aunt, daughter. Like we need to put ourselves first. We do it in all of our other training. We put on the mask on ourselves on a plane before we can help someone else. We have to think in a different way. If we can't take care of ourselves, how are we going to take care of other people? So this topic is really important because it's deeply something I am really, really passionate about. And midwives are definitely have a big heart. We love to give, but it's hard to give from a cup that's already empty. The burnout rate is astronomical with midwives, and we have a massive responsibility with being the midwife, with running our businesses, and trying to manage being a mom and our 50 other roles and responsibilities in today's society. So I want to be able to promote more positive practices that help the midwives truly become successful business owners, and they become better versions of themselves. We talk often about the midwife Maslow hierarchy of needs, and I want midwives to find their sole purpose, their ultimate reason for being here and advocating for midwifery. It may not always be on the front lines of catching the baby, but midwifing the midwives, policy changes, larger scale advocacy. There may be other things, but if you can't even get past the survival mode of just day to day, hour to hour, paycheck to paycheck, whatever it looks like, you're not going to be able to do better care for your community, catch things. You're going to be always reactive versus proactive in your decisions, and it's going to hurt your confidence. It's going to hurt your energy, that law of attraction. And I want your business to grow and succeed. And we have to have the stamina and resiliency to be able to handle the ups and downs that are demanded of business. And in order to do that, we have to have self-care, self-awareness, and we have to get out of our head that me pampering myself, me taking care of myself, me doing some extra time for me is not sacrificing everybody else. It's actually going to make you a better mom, a better midwife, a better support person, and a relationship partner, whatever it is. And I want you to structure your treatment. I want you to scale up your business. And in order to do that, you have to have strong self-awareness and strong self-care tactics. So let's go to the basics. What is self-care? It's an action to improve your overall mental, physical, and emotional well-being. It's an activity of prioritizing your own health and being productive and self-learning and successful in your own endeavors. So it's exercising, it's eating well, it's taking breaks throughout the day, it's having hobbies, it's going on vacation, it's doing things you love, and then it's going to ripple into everything else that you have on your schedule throughout the days. Allowing entrepreneurs to practice mindfulness. You could do some meditation, you could do some breathings. It's going to affect your health. It's going to affect your mind because there's stress with that fight or flight, and you're anxious and your brain's not working well. It's going to pass on to the rest of your team, and you want to be a leader of influence that they want to admire versus you're on pins and needles all the time, and that feeling of burnout is just you're snapping easily, you're anxious, you're avoiding confrontation, you don't want to solve problems. I want to flip it so that we can get you to more of an abundance mindset, and it comes down to our own potential and in valuing ourselves and investing in ourselves. So I want you to identify how you can put yourself first. What are simple things you can do throughout the day And in the morning, getting up a half hour early. There's a great book, The Miracle Morning. It talks about meditation and journaling and reading and just so many things to do in the beginning of the day will have a ripple effect of your brain and how productive you are and how quick you can solve problems and your stress level. Getting yourself a massage, getting yourself pampered with a manicure, pedicure, going out with the girlfriends, getting someone to cover your midwife services so you can go to your kids' recital and you can go to birthday parties and weddings and you need to figure out what makes you happy, and it's stuff that can be done in a few minutes throughout the day. Blocking breaks, blocking time to get water, planning ahead of time for meals and eating organic and being able to create that habit forming situation, because a lot of times our inflammatory response, our stress levels, our health issues, our troubles in life are from our mindset and are from our knowledge and our habits and how we do things each day. So in order for us to create a better life, we have to start with the basics. If a lot of times my consulting clients, we just start with, this week I just want you to make sure every day you get 8 glasses of water. Nothing more. I just want you to get in the habit, whether you got to set a timer, you get a really cool cup, just get enough water in throughout the day. And it'll make a huge difference with dehydration. And then we start working on the food, and then we start working on abundance mindset. We start working on time management. We start working on, you are forced to do things fun, whether going to the beach, going out for dinner, going and having date night, going on a vacation. You're just sitting and meditating in your bathtub. Like, we have to get in the habit of taking care of ourselves throughout the day, the beginning of the day, the end of the day, because it's going to have a ripple effect to everything else. Having time for reflection, taking those breaks and allowing your mind to be in the moment versus thinking about the past, thinking about the future. We get in such autopilot. Allow our brains some time to really just prioritize, how's the day going, what's going wrong, what's going right, what else do I need to do today? How am I feeling? Practicing the abundance. What are you appreciative for at this moment? And when you can get clarity and focus, and it's down your Zen passions, nothing can stop you. And so I think that's what's so hard as midwives is we love what we do, but when we're so overwhelmed and we've sacrificed everything to be a midwife, we've sacrificed every identity and every aspect of our being, we feel like, what's the point of living? And this is why a lot of midwives can't retire, because their only identity is being a midwife. They have no other self-awareness and self-care and identities and passions and drives outside of running their midwifery practice. They don't go on vacation. Their kids are out of the house. Their partner has divorced them. All they have are their clients they're serving. And that works for some midwives, but for most, that's not the ultimate goals of living. And I want to help you with basic breaks and time for yourself and self-reflection and doing fun things versus constantly work, go. So setting goals, they don't have to be big. Beginning of the day, 3 to 5 goals set in the morning. I'm going to make sure I actually get a lunch break for 30 minutes today. I'm actually going to pack my lunch versus eating out on the go. I'm actually going to get my 5 glasses, 8 glasses, 10 glasses of water in today. I'm going to start taking my supplements. I am going to make sure I get some fruit throughout the day because I am horrible with fruits and vegetables. Like, whatever it is, start with baby steps, and then it's going to compound as you feel better and you get positive reinforcement and you got more clarity and energy and your gut doesn't hurt so much and your headaches are going away and everything else just seems to start becoming in alignment. You're going to compound and do it more and more, and you're going to challenge yourself to the next level, and you're going to be like, okay, I'm going to set 3 hours away for admin time. Nothing interrupts it but a birth, and I'm going to do that 2 days a week, and this is the list of things I'm going to get done. You're going to notice you get more things accomplished. You're not going to feel so overwhelmed. You're not going to feel in this spiral setup because your body is at its optimal potential. Getting enough sleep, this is so tricky as midwives. Obviously, if the baby needs you, which a lot of babies come at nighttime, you do what you got to do. But maybe blocking that you don't start clinic till consistently 10 in the morning, and then your home visits are 8 to 10. So if you have a birth, you have a couple hours to sleep in versus you have to start clinic at 8. When we talk about optimizing schedules, usually we do like Monday, Tuesday, Thursday clinic, Wednesday, Friday admin days. Friday is kind of that rare overflow for prenatal visits. And then you do 10 to 4, and then your home visits are from 8 to 10 every morning. So then if all of a sudden there's not a birth, you get to sleep in, you get to catch up on your rest. So sleep, health, and wealth, we know how much our postpartum ladies and our pregnant ladies, everything hurts more, everything's harder when they're sleep deprived. And it goes the same for us. Like, if we don't get ourselves good deep sleep the best that we can, of course, to the babies and what they allow us. And this is part of why I want you guys to get a team of midwives, get 3 to 5 midwives, because you can cover each other. Like, you just were at a couple births and now you can rest and she's primary covering call. You now have the opportunity to really put your guard down versus you're like, please no babies tonight. I've been up for 30 hours and you're the only solo midwife and no backups. It creates a lot of anxiety into your system that we could improve as we get our community midwives increased. Ask for help when you want it. I think a lot of times asking your midwife colleagues to cover vacations and breaks and just bouncing ideas off of them for burnout and exhaustion and poor self-care. And I always stress to people, get advice from people you want to grow into and you admire. Don't take advice from other colleagues in the same boat you are, because then it just becomes this venting thing where you're not really asking for advice. You just become where you're a soundboard to each other and reinforcing, see, there's no other way to do it, because every midwife I talk to is struggling and having a hard time. There are great successful midwives. They just tend to be doing their thing and they've got their own support groups they've already created. They're not on Facebook venting. Like, it's fascinating to me to see these social media groups and this reinforcing stigma to each other versus there's great midwives out there, but they're not in these groups, adding to the negativity. Make time for yourself, do exercise classes, do some yoga, do some meditation, make some family time, go nature, start joining a book club. Like, just find something that makes you happy and start doing it, and take some cooking classes, take some art classes. Just find some time to prioritize and find your spirit and what your purpose is in this phase of your life. What you want to do. Tackle stress head on. There's so much being thrown at us every day, all the time, and we need to be able to be more adaptable. Stress is not going to go away, but how we process it, how we handle it, how we adapt to it. My mantra has been adaptable and resilient, and technology, and sometimes things don't work. Like, I was just trying to do a meeting with someone last week and we were supposed to start at noon and it took us a half an hour. We first tried phones, the phones kept dropping, and then we tried Facebook Messenger because we both had iPhones, but then it needed to update. It was taking forever. Then we pivoted to trying to do Google Meets, and then we couldn't get the email to go through. Then we pivoted to just a Zoom. I sent her a link on Zoom and we just did audio because the internet was low. And we finally, like, we could tell we're two stellar ladies that we didn't stress by it. We pivoted, we adapted. It tells a lot about you and how you process things. We can't control the technology and the challenges and the bigger system, but we can control our mindsets. We can control how we perceive the stressors and how our body can handle them. Because if you're getting hit with stressors all the time, but you have no good things in your life, your mind can't, it feels like the lion's always trying to attack you biologically. You need to find those opportunities where you can chill and relax and recover. Because long term, we're going to burn out our cells and our mind and our body and get diseases and get cancer because of the constant stressors. So I want you to be more self-aware. I want you to have time to pause, reflect, know your values, start at the beginning of the day, make some journals, make some observations, catch yourself being more in the fully present. When you're listening and you're focusing and you're telling, we are our worst enemy inside of ourselves, our critics, harassing ourselves. Like, we need to talk nicer to ourselves. We need to give appreciation for the people around us and ourselves and what makes you happy. And is your midwifery career and where you're at in life where you want to be? And if it's not, where do you want to go to? What would be your dream life? And how do you make that happen? How do you transition? How do you pivot so that you can make your business run differently and structure it? So maybe you're not doing as much birth because you've created other income streams over time that are going to make up for that business revenue. You're going to start working on teams. You're going to start attracting great people to you. You're going to restructure your marketing campaign so you get a different clientele that is attracted to your service line. You're going to adjust your fee schedule because you've realized I want half the clients and I'm the lowest price in the community. You're going to spend some time pausing and reflecting and talking to your colleagues, talking to your family and friends, and asking for open, honest opinions. And you'd be shocked when you start exercising, eating well, sleeping, drinking water, taking care of yourself, everything else gets better. So having an open mindset, being able to know your personal limits, I honestly want you to dream to your ultimate potential, but then also realize, like, I want to be a bazillionaire. Okay, it's possible, but the statistics are extremely low. How do you do that? How do you get there? I want to travel the world. Okay, how can you do that? Do you want to be a midwife? Do you want to do some consulting work? Do you want to have some passive income that allows you to do that? Like, how are you going to pay your bills while you're traveling and doing these amazing things? So we want you to live within the limits of what is possible for you. But if it's like, sometimes I think people hurt themselves by making the limits too low. Like, we live in this reality. You can't just say, oh, I'm going to stop breathing because I don't need air. Like, we have to live within this realm of what we exist in, but we can also push it. I've been doing so much with quantum physics and these new ages of science that are coming out that our minds are just absolutely pushing the limits of what they thought was even possible with healing ourselves. And I was just listening to a podcast yesterday about genetics is less than 1% of our determination. Our DNA does not make we think so much, oh, my grandma had diabetes and obesity and I got it. Like, our minds determine, those DNA are only blueprints. Our minds determine what to turn on and off. And so it is absolutely phenomenal once we really start tapping into our own potential, we really start evaluating that this is my only body, this is my only spirit, this is my only mind, and I want to take the best care possible of it and grow it and challenge it. And we do the same thing for our clients we serve, and so we should be doing it for ourselves. It feels hard to set boundaries. I hear this a lot with midwives, and like when clients should call you and what they should call about because they're worried they're going to lose a client. And I was like, it's all about boundaries, clear expectations. Like, I am not available 24/7 for you. It is after hours is for birth and urgent things. If you have non-urgent questions or concerns, you can call the office. You can send a message in the patient portal. We'll get back with you in 2 days, 3 days. You want to have clear expectations with your family and friends. Like, don't feel guilty saying no. Like, I was a yes person, but halfway through them asking me to do something, I used to say yes, and I didn't even know what I was saying yes to. Like, we have to just get in the habit of pausing for 30 seconds or just saying, let me think about it. And it's not going to hurt to just think about it. Let them know in 20 minutes, let them know in a couple hours, because sometimes we jump so much and then we feel guilty because we're like, man, I'm supposed to be superwoman. I'm supposed to be able to do everything. Embracing self-discipline, like, success takes time. It's not instant gratification. If you're exercising, you're going to take time to lose the weight. You've accrued all the calories and the extra weight over a many amount of years. It takes time to get it off, and we have to have self-discipline. When you save up money for retirement in the future, you have to have self-discipline and not just spend it because it's there, and not just eat because it tastes good and you'll worry about the ramifications of that cheeseburger later. Like, self-discipline in your business and your personal life and the challenges you put on yourself will have leaps and bounds changes of what's possible for your future. So I want you to consider the impact of your actions, how you talk to people, how do you talk to yourself, how do you present things, how do you look at things. Trust your instincts. Like, there's so much with the chakras and our guts being our second brain. Like, I burned myself so many times because I didn't listen to my instincts, and I'm getting better at that. And I want you to feel like my spidey sense is going up. This doesn't feel like we should be a good fit to take as a client. She's calling me with some concerns. I don't think I should go to her house. I think she should go to the hospital to be checked out. Like, our instincts are very, very powerful in decision making and choices, but we also have to have the knowledge to really know what our options and choices are, so that our instinct isn't coming and kicking in because we're scared of fear that we just don't know, versus that deeper instinctual trust. So I want you to value feedback, value criticism from others, from yourself, and grow and expand. It's hard. We want to practice mindfulness. You want to spend time reflecting with yourself, writing a journal, doing activities in that full present moment. Yoga's meditation is great for that. Listening to music, doing some grounding therapies, going for a walk, just sitting and being present in the moment for a little while. It's okay. We're never going to be right about everything, and we're going to make mistakes. That's just being human beings. But the great quote I had read is, you only fail when you say you're done trying. Like, failure is just a way to learn and an opportunity. Our culture has trained us that failure is a bad thing, but once you start diving into entrepreneurship and business and abundance mindset, failure is an opportunity to learn. A mistake you grow from, and then if you do everything right all the time, you're never going to grow to your full potential. And so crisis brings opportunity, burnout challenges, and I want us as human beings to really look at yourself and get out of this head trash we give ourselves, that being self-aware is selfish. I can't take care of myself. Too much to do. There's too much going on. I need to do this, and this before I eat. Like, I used to do it for years, where I would feed my kids and be cleaning up their meal and getting their dessert before I even got a chance to eat. And so now I'm just like, everybody eats at the same time. And when we're all done eating, then we move to the next step. And so you can just pivot habits. You want to minimize the stress with exercise. There's different kinds depending on your health. You can do some running, you can do some yoga, you can do some weights. There's different self-defense and Pilates and different things that are out there. I mean, the sky's the limits of exercise classes out there, and they have a massive impact on your stress level, your resilience, and just the compounding side of overall health. You want to get better sleep. You want to make sure that you're getting, everybody's different. Some people need 6-7 hours of sleep. Some people need 8 to 10 hours of sleep. And don't feel bad if you're tired in the afternoon and you need a nap. That is okay. There is so many studies about the successful people and the high achievers. They take power naps. They take half-hour, 45-minute naps in the afternoon to keep them through the rest of the day. So I think when we try to force ourselves to do things when our bodies are asking, we need to obviously structure our schedule. Like, if you need to consistently notice you're having a lull and you're struggling at 2 to 4, maybe your client visits are 9 to 3 and you're going to take an hour nap, self-recovery, 3 to 4, do a little bit of admin stuff before you leave, and then you've got energy for dinner and family stuff until you go to bed at 9, 10 o'clock, and then you start over again. So there's different to structure this. I want you to fuel up on your energy, drinking lots of water. There's nutritional supplements out there. Fast food, processed, they really just drag you down. They're so toxic. There's different like social media platforms that have good empowering things, but then also have negative. And like, you can look into intermittent fasting. You can look into different ways to structure your meals. Some people swear by small frequent. Some are one big meal throughout the day. Some are heavy the proteins, and some are heavy the vegan and vegetables. And so you just have to figure out what is best for you. And you'll notice as you start being more in the fully present, you're going to notice, oh, I'm actually hungry. I'm eating because I'm hungry, not because it's 12 o'clock and I looked at a clock and my culture and my autopilot told me it's time to eat. And so we really, once you start being self-aware, you start being in the present, you start really allowing your brain to not be on autopilot, so many of these things are going to get easier. You want to seek human interaction. You want to have not just the clients you're serving because you have a job, you have a purpose. You want deeper human connection. You want to be able to have support groups. You want to have get-togethers with your colleagues outside of work. You want to be able to go with some girlfriends and go on vacation and have some fun with your kids and go on a romantic weekend with your partner. Like, just spend some time purposely coordinating these meetups. You could have it with business owners in the area. You could have it running with a friend versus you run by yourself. You could just do a phone call, because I think too many times we get on autopilot and you just don't call up a friend to see how they're doing. Engaging in hobbies and activities outside of your work. So we already talked about going for a walk, art, vacations, travel, learning a new language, and taking some classes at a community college because you want to advance your resources or your services within your midwifery practice, or you just completely want to do something fun outside of midwifery. You want to create a workspace you love, especially when you're your own business owner versus working for somebody else. You can determine what's going to be on the walls, how you're going to lay out your birth center, your home birth practice, your clinic. You can determine what food is snacks and what drinks you put out and how organized the flow is. And you're going to notice there's an energy level that comes back to you when you're in a relaxed, abundant, pretty comforting space versus it's dark and it's dusty and it's disorganized and it's stressful and you avoid it. There's so much with your external space that impacts your internal consciousness. So little things do really make a big difference. Treat yourself. Spoil yourself. Do not feel guilty. Be like, okay, I did my exercise for the week. I'm going to have pizza tonight with the kids. And you don't feel guilty about it because you've worked hard, you've rewarded yourself, you've set goals and you've accomplished them. You want to be able to say, okay, like I got done with this, this, and this. We had 3 great births this week. I'm going to go get a massage and I'm going to take clinic off tomorrow and reschedule people because I've already worked so much this week and I need to be at my best of ability if someone else calls me right now. So we need to be able to take care of ourselves. We really need to be able to little things, buying not the cheapest chocolate, buy some Dove chocolate and put it in your break room and have it in your bag. And when you're feeling that craving of you want some chocolate, don't just get a big bag and a candy bar. Grab one of your Dove chocolates. They've got great motivational quotes inside of it. Read it. Acknowledge it, enjoy the tasting of the chocolate, and really be able to appreciate the little things versus just going on autopilot. Check in with your mental health, like having a counselor or having a life coach. It doesn't mean you have mental health problems. I've learned they're part of my mastermind team. Like when I've went through my burnout, my life coach counselor has been with me since 2017, and I joke with her all the time. If she had a lifetime membership, I would sign up in a heartbeat, because it's not just about, we have crap that happens in our life. We have challenges, and we want someone to talk to that's unbiased to all our other identities that people give us. And you can just be raw and open and in a safe, confidential space to brainstorm, to reflect, to feel like you can bounce ideas or ask for criticism in a safe, healthy space. So there is so much benefit to having that mental health coach, guidance person. And I do that with my consulting for quite a few of my ladies. I am their mental health accountability coach. So as an overall conclusion, I want you to think about you being a midwife and really your day-to-day. How do you do things? What are your habits? What are your strengths and weaknesses? Are you doing much self-care at this point? Because when you start putting yourself last, everything else crumbles. We can't help other people. We're going to make mistakes at births. We're going to lash out and get more customer complaints. We're going to have trouble with our colleagues and our partner and our kids and our family life because we didn't do our own self-care. If we can't take care of ourselves, how are we expected to take care of other people? So we have to get past our culture as women and midwives that we are our most important thing to be able to help at a greater extent and to be able to be better moms and midwives. We have to get past the challenges that life is giving us, especially as business owners. So I want you to be successful. I want you to prioritize yourself. And I want you to start today with just changing little habits, being more in the moment, drinking more water. It sounds so simple, but it's not. Like, we give advice to our clients all the time, and you feel guilty because you're telling them to drink a bunch of water as you're drinking your Diet Coke from McDonald's because you didn't have time to get lunch. It happens over and over again. So I want you to make baby steps. I want you to really get past this mindset of self-awareness is not being selfish.